In this video, I will show you a time management metaphor that you may have seen before. It's often called rocks, pebbles, and sand, but since I'm a crafty type, I used spools, buttons, and beads. So we start with the container of our life. And in our lives, we have all kinds of things going on. Some are big important things, which I'm using those spools to represent. Some are everyday things. This is the stuff that makes our world go round, but maybe isn't as weighty as the important things. I've used buttons to represent that everyday stuff. And then there are all the little things. This is the stuff that isn't very important or that takes up a lot of our time without much return on investment. These things are the beads in my example. So we've got our spools, our buttons, and our beads. Let's imagine that we start by filling up our time or our container of life with the beads. Wasting time on Facebook, spinning our wheels instead of making decisions, whatever. And then we have our daily routine to add in there, going to work, grocery shopping, picking up the kids. So we pour our buttons on top of the beads. And then we try to fit in the big stuff that really matters. Spending quality time with our family, celebrating milestones, taking care of ourselves. And as you can see, it doesn't work out so well. We don't have enough room and things either spill over or they just don't fit. The feeling that the container is too small is pretty much the way our lives feel at times. We're so busy with stuff and we just can't fit one more thing in. It's overwhelming, isn't it? So, what if we looked at things a different way? Let's see how it might work out differently. Imagine that we look at the big picture of our life and we put the big stuff in our container first. Whatever those priorities are, and it's going to be different for everyone. But if we're proactive, we usually know when and where the big stuff is or where it shows up. So whatever those priorities are, make them non-negotiable. However much time and space they need in your life, they should get. Once the big stuff is set, then we build our daily stuff around those non-negotiable priorities. Sometimes things go a little wonky. We may need to get creative or rethink things at times. But if we have the big stuff safely contained, we can work with our smaller or routine priorities and fit them in where we can. And then, once the big stuff and the daily things are handled, then we can add in the little things. Sometimes they're gonna slip through the cracks, but it's not a big deal if some of them get lost in the shuffle, right? Because they aren't quite as important. Some things we have to give things a little shake and let stuff settle where it will. You know, life isn't perfect, but we can get them in there. We really can, no matter how full our container of life is. And so this is the beautiful part. If you don't let all of the little unimportant things and your daily routine fill up your container first, if instead you work from biggest to smallest, all of this can really work out. You can fit everything that you need to fit in your container.